Now, Positively Ernie with Ernie Anastas, a New York TV legend and radio host with great positive stories and interviews.
Thanks, Ernie. You're the best.
And now, here's Ernie.
Hi, everybody. We're back with a great show for you. Another wonderful guest, somebody that I've known for a long time, but we haven't seen each other for a while. This is Jackie Miranne. She is a fashion expert. She's a TV host. She's a mom. She does a lot of things. Jackie, you know, we had a whole COVID thing going on there. We did something, you know, on a Zoom call, but now it's... Hold my hand. So nice to see you.
I am so happy to see you.
God, you look great.
And can I just remind everybody?
Yeah.
Everyone loves Ernie.
Oh,
I mean, there's
you're
just such
so
a
sweet.
beautiful
Thank you,
positivity
honey. I
to
appreciate
you.
that.
It's no wonder your show is so successful. I'm so happy to be here in person.
You're very kind because you're successful as well. We've done a lot of good things together.
Yes.
You know, Jackie knows a lot about fashion and style. Look at her. I mean, you're a fashion plate right there. You look great.
Thank you.
And you're a mom. You got two beautiful children. Tell us about those kids, huh?
Yes, I'm such a proud mom. I said this is the first time I'm seeing you in person as a mom of a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
And, you know, 2 boys, they keep me busy, but also they really are a good reminder of, you know, keeping myself in check, what you really need out of life to function every single day and still embrace the things that I love, like style and fashion. So
absolutely.
It's a great reminder to sort of go down to the bare basics and really know what I really need in my life each and every day.
You
and
know,
they are the start of it, that's
no
for sure.
question about it. Family is at the center of everything.
That's right.
But you have been really immersed in fashion. I mean, all your life.
Absolutely.
And you've been on television shows, I mean, national programs, you're a host. Tell us about some of the things you're doing right now.
Well, I'm very excited to share that the beautiful thing about being a mom right now and talking about fashion is that I found a lot of ways to do that very creatively, not just in the studio, in your typical fashion, right? Live stream has become such an important part of fashion. And now I'm a live stream host as well as a TV host. I like to say TV and live stream because I'm a live stream host for The Mile, which is this huge fashion company all about luxury fashion. I like to do affordable fashion meets high fashion.
That's
The
nice.
Mile.
Nice combination.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm a host on Amazon as well, which is really growing their live stream for fashion, beauty, lifestyle, home. So I get to talk about a lot of fun products.
So you end up, you know, doing a lot of research, you know, to figure out what people really want to know, what they want to hear about. Right now, if you said, okay, at the top of the list, you know, 1, 2, 3, what are people really interested right now to know about?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there is that continued focus on your everyday athleisure when it comes to fashion.
Yeah.
This is men, women, kids alike. You're still seeing tons of those basics, like your sneakers, your sweatshirts, your denim, all of those things that really day in and day out you really wear.
Yes.
Those basics, they don't have to be basic though, I like to say, Ernie. So I like to really give a good flair to even those everyday items, outerwear right now, you know, depending on the season. When we get into spring, we start to see those statement dresses.
Sure.
And of course, another key item that I obviously see is always a big deal is for women is accessories.
Oh,
handbags,
oh, sure.
right?
Big handbags are big.
No
question about it.
When I say to somebody, if you want to find the way to my heart, always find it through a handbag. You will definitely find your way there.
that's a big item.
Yep,
you know, you have a style, and I know what you like. We've had Nicole Miller on here. We had Joseph Aboud recently.
Oh, great.
And they were basically talking about the simplicity of style and design with some flair.
Yes.
You feel the same way?
Absolutely. As I said, you know, your basics don't have to be basic. Investing in some of those luxury items that you do wear every single day will make such a difference because you can have a bag that you have for 10 years if it's that high quality investment piece where you may go through that many and end up spending the same amount if you go the route of fast fashion with some of those investment pieces. So really look at how much, you know, cost per wear ratio, I like to say, is very important in terms of building your wardrobe. And you really can build your wardrobe with a mix of different levels in fashion. So.
And Jackie, you know, we both know that that style or your clothing that you choose has a lot to do with your personality.
Yes.
It says who you are. It makes a statement when you go out there. And I think that's so important to understand. And there's a lot of emotion involved with fashion and how you dress. I don't know about you, but like sometimes, you know, I might decide what I want to wear the night before if I'm going to, you know, do television or something. And sometimes I just wake up and say, what do I feel like today? There's a lot of emotion involved in clothing.
Absolutely. And of course, a lot of the times, sometimes I do have to plan ahead, you know, for styling and segments and things like that. But think the biggest thing that you touch upon when you say that is it is all about a representation of you.
Yes.
So the more you can embody what you're wearing, the more it will speak miles. So we're seeing different trends like something called quiet luxury, where it is all about a lack of statement. It is about those basic modern blazers, clean cut, monochromatic colors. But that in and of itself can be such a big statement while being so minimalist at the same time. And if you're in the mood to party, grab that fringe, grab that sheer, grab that pop of color statement.
Whatever the mood is.
Exactly. Dress to your mood. It definitely will speak miles, the authenticity behind what you're wearing. And I always say that about trends too. Make sure you're authentically connected to them, and then they really do work for you in your wardrobe.
Now, here's another thing. And a lot of people think we're not dressing up enough.
Right.
People talk about just dressing down all the time. I mean, you show up somewhere, in sweats. For example, I did a story recently about how a lot of college graduates, recent graduates, are showing up for interviews in sweatpants or very casual, sweatshirts and so forth, and they're bringing their parents with them. They don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to talk, but they don't know how to present themselves.
Yes.
As far as appearance goes.
And I think that is definitely something. I come from an old school school of fashion. I had my fashionable grandmother who was always matching every piece of jewelry to every, piece that she wore head to toe. So there's always that mix and that fine line. Of course, for your day in and your day out, your errands and things like that, yes, there's a way to still look polished even in those comfort items. But when it comes to dressing for the role that you want, you have to dress the part. So I can't stress enough. I would be happy to do a fashion crash course with anybody out there that you just mentioned. Dress for the role you want. If you want to become the CEO, if you want to become that megastar, if you want to become that business person, that next big influencer, dress for it.
Yeah.
Look the part. Be the star in the room. And you can do that in many ways. But I do think there is absolutely something to situational dressing where you have to know your audience, know what you're walking into.
Right.
And definitely there is something to that elevated, polished look, especially in situations like interviews, or for me, it's a red carpet. You definitely have to do your thought process there and fill the role.
The expression smart casual has been around for a long time. And I think that today, there's no question about it. You go into one of the best restaurants, whether it's New York or anywhere, and people are in there and they're casual.
Right.
But it's that smart casual. There's a big difference between the sweatpants and looking a little brighter, a little sharper, a little more put together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't lose the smart in smart casual, right? So, it's we can always fall into those patterns of being more comfortable and not necessarily, a lot of us were home for several years. We were just speaking about that.
Yeah.
So there is something, I think we all could use that little bit of a refresh, and definitely make sure if you're wearing maybe a jogger, you wear a heel with it. If you're wearing a sneaker with a dress, a midi dress and a sneaker, it's one of my favorite combinations. It's all about balance. So if you're balancing a casual piece, maybe counteract that with something a little bit more polished, a little bit dressier on the other hand, to kind of bring that contrast and that balance.
Something that I've noticed too, and I know you've seen it. If you look at a photograph, let's say from 1955, because we see a lot of videos from New York, and you see a ball game, for example, you can pick out the mom because she's dressed, with a dress and maybe a hat, and the dad has got a tie on. And the kid has a little baseball cap. Today, if you look at that same picture, everybody looks the same. Right. Mom and daughter can look like sisters.
Yes.
And the same thing with fathers and sons and so forth. What do you think about that? The fact that we all kind of have that more youthful look, if you will.
We're all sort of blended. The family matching. Actually, family matching is a huge thing that I was just talking about, matching my sons in terms of their wardrobe. But that actually is a trend in and of itself, funny enough. But I do also see your point is that it's nice to have that identifiable style as well.
Yeah.
But again, to each their own. I'm not going to tell anybody out there that they can't do what feels true to them. And we are seeing with social media, funny enough, TikTok, Instagram, you see a lot of that blending together, I think, is in part to that, because it sort of blurs the lines.
Yes.
And you see a lot of, dancing videos with parents and their kids and things. But you know what? If it brings them together and they're more connected,
that's important.
That's really great.
Absolutely, no question about it. And speaking of kids, we talk to a lot of parents as well. We got a lot of kids running around the house. And when it comes to children's clothing, talk about that for a minute.
Yes.
Parents know that kids, grow out of their things like that.
Yes.
And you can buy them a $100 sweater or a $25 sweater, and they're going to grow out of it just as fast. What do you do as far as picking out the right kind of clothing for your kids?
Well, I always say for those items, those $100 pieces, those are the hand-me-down pieces. You always want to find someone in your life who can be that one to pass it down. So if you have a friend that maybe has a child a few years ahead of you, for me it's my sister, my brother, we're all having kids at the same time.
Right.
It is so important to pass down your clothing, pass it on to
Absolutely.
others. So for those expensive items, you do only get a chance to wear them maybe once. It means so much to then either donate or pass things on. And in terms of loving the fruits that fast fashion have to offer, that's nice for children's clothing, because now my favorite brands like Target, H&M, you can get those stylish, snazzy looking things for your family. But because you do go through them so fast, each size, they grow so quickly, it's nice to know you can get those stylish items at those great price points as well. And you don't have to worry if they wear through them, if they get a hole in them.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So
and you want your kids to look nice.
Yes.
You know, let's face it. I mean, as a parent, right, you know when you look at your child and they're dressed nicely, I'm not talking about going out there and running around to play, but when they're dressed to go to school or to a play or wherever, you want them to look nice, because it makes you feel good that your child looks nice.
You put so much effort and love into them. And for me, I don't know if it's because I just love fashion and style so much, but it does make me so proud to walk into a room with them, have them in their adorable outfits, often matching, of course, I will admit that. And it just adds to that pride. It adds to that family portrait moment. It's not just about getting dressed up for the holiday card anymore. You have the opportunity to create wardrobe for even your littlest one now.
And it's fun to do that.
And you'll remember that forever.
You'll
have that picture forever framed.
And are we not taking pictures all the time? I mean, we don't stop. I mean, as soon as you see whatever it happens to be, picture. So you have a lot of pictures of your kids and your family. You know a lot about the industry. Talk to me about the manufacturing of clothes, because, you know, you look at labels and, you know, very rarely do you see made in the USA.
Right.
It's all over the country, all over the world, I should say.
Yes. Well, actually, that's what I'm very happy to say. I've been pleasantly surprised. I was mentioning my live stream show on the Mile. Some of our premium designers now, I'm starting to see made in the USA more than I ever did before. And I think that's actually a beautiful thing when I take note of the things that matter to me when I talk about them on my live streams. If I see that, I think that is such a beautiful thing, and I like to call that out. However, of course, we are seeing sourcing from all over the world.
No question about it.
I think what we should know as consumers is it doesn't guarantee quality. No matter which way you look at it, no matter where it's coming from, you have to look at the label. Look at what it's made of. It's very important, especially in children's clothing. 100% cotton, for example, organic cottons, sustainable fashions now. I think it's important to do your research, and if you find brands that work with your mantra of what you believe in, whether it's eco-conscious, eco-friendly, sustainable, or those natural fibers, stick with those brands. You know, you can become a loyalist to a lot of those brands, especially for children's fashion in particular. But I think just do your research, because you never know now, even the bigger companies, even just with vegan leather, for example, the finest design fashion houses, you would have never seen vegan leather in previous decades, right? Now even the highest fashion luxury houses are producing items in those vegan leathers, faux furs, things like that. So when you're paying a certain price point, you want to make sure it aligns with what materials you want.
Makes sense.
What you want out of the product. Exactly.
I know you talk to a lot of celebrities. I mean, you follow their patterns and what they do. Talk to us a little bit about your favorites. You know, who are your favorite celebrities, how they dress, and why you like what they wear?
Yes. Well, I do want to take a moment to shout out one of my favorite designers out there. I always, even when I just had my baby, I made sure that I was at his show, front row. Christian Siriano. Oh, yeah. Little fun fact, I was a Project Runway model on his season of Project Runway way back when. Now he's the host of Project Runway. But it's amazing to have watched his journey from square one before he even got that final discovery, the final win.
Great
And
now
success
story.
He is one of the biggest moguls in fashion as a TV personality, as an influencer, as a designer.
Yeah.
And the best thing about him is, as I sit at each one of his shows, he's very loyal. He is also very inclusive. He is like the poster child for inclusivity in fashion. So you're going to see, with Christian Siriano, you're going to see runway models of all sizes. You're going to see men and women on the runway, all types of personalities, models, and influencers, and different types of personalities and people all coming together in his fashion. And of course, on the red carpet. So I really love shouting him out because he's been a friend.
Glad you did that.
And I love when he dresses me.
I love it. I love it. Let me ask you something. Personalities, okay? Real quick. Let's talk about women. Who do you think, really stands out in your mind? I know there are probably several, but if you had to choose one and say, I think she really dresses very well, who would that be?
In terms of celebrities, I would have to say right now, I could not speak if I did not mention the Barbie phenomenon.
Oh, my God. You're right. Yeah.
Of course. So, of course, it's all dependent on their projects and the moment. But I have to just give a shout out to Margot Robbie / Barbie. She still deserves to have her own identity, but she's embracing the Barbie phenomenon, which I love. She is dressing red carpet after red carpet, mirroring these iconic Barbie looks. And as you can see,
huge success.
Pink is one of the hugest trends that you're going to see for a long time beyond the movie and the moment.
Yeah.
But I think right now, that's the phenomenon that's speaking to me.
Pretty hot right
on
now.
all of the awards shows, so you're seeing what she's wearing. And she continues to embrace that spirit, which is why she's there, which is why she's nominated. And I love that she owns it and has a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
And really dresses to the part, as we were mentioning.
Yeah.
Dress the part. You can never go wrong. You can never be overdressed. For an underdressed
that's true.
trend that that is in America right now, you can never be overdressed. So.
I've always said that it's either compliments or apologies.
That's right.
If you show up someplace, right, and you look really good, you're going to get compliments.
Absolutely.
If you go someplace and you're underdressed, you're always saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize that everybody was dressed.
Right.
Yeah, so because you were talking about women. Talk about men, okay? If you had to spotlight somebody and say, here's a celebrity that I think really dresses well, a guy, who would it be?
Well, I have to say, I love when guys just sort of have that sleek, crisp, classic style.
Yeah.
So I love the icons, out there from, whether it's a Leonardo DiCaprio or a Brad Pitt or, I love when they show up to the red carpet. And we're seeing Ryan Gosling, of course, right now. Just polished. It's not necessarily for me about, or even a Matthew McConaughey. It's not about one celebrity in terms of men, because obviously I mirror my looks based on women. Watch women on the red carpet in celebrity much more than we watch men. And I think for the guys out there, any one of them, Bradley Cooper, when they show up with that polished look, that crisp suit, perfectly tailored. I love seeing that cleanup moment.
Yeah.
Guys are lucky because I say you could really live in two wardrobes. That's it. You can have two outfits in your wardrobe: a t-shirt and jeans, and a suit. And I love when I see them pull out the suit. And have that moment. So I definitely, it's more of an overarching love for that cleaned up, well-groomed moment, obviously on the red carpet, as I like to watch and see all of the stars.
And a lot of people like to be creative, with what they're doing. And it's like anything goes. For example, I've been to black tie events where, let's say men are dressed in a tuxedo, but they're wearing jeans with a tuxedo.
Right.
And it's acceptable.
Right.
It looks good. I mean, they're good-looking jeans, a nice pair of loafers or whatever, and it's a nice combination. So being a little creative on your own and making a little statement that way is kind of a nice thing to do.
Yeah, and it works when you can tell it comes from that authentic place, that you're really seeing the person embody that look. You can always tell, for me anyway, when someone's styled, but it's not really who they are. You could always kind of tell the difference when somebody is authentically owning their look. So if you are going to do something like that, if you're going to create that twist or that statement-making moment, Pharrell is someone I think who's a really great example. He's always making a statement. He always embraces what he's doing. Now he's a creative director. So I think it speaks, you can't fool America.
No.
We're smart.
Yeah, we are.
So we could tell when it's coming from a genuine place of love for fashion or creativity or whatever, what have you. When it's a gimmick, that gimmick tends to run out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Jackie, we also know that a lot of things in life are cyclical, and it comes back. So, we've gotten into, for men, for example, tighter pants, narrow and so forth. And at one time, we were wearing baggy clothes.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about fashion for men and for women. What do you foresee? What's going to change? What's going to be the new thing coming up?
Well, I hate to tell you, Ernie, we're seeing a lot of 90s trends coming back.
90s.
So I don't know. We might start seeing some baggy again.
Really?
But
it's comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Proportion. It's all about proportion. So if you're going to wear maybe something baggy on top, you balance it on the bottom. I always like to say, you don't want to be swallowed by the trends, that's for sure. But we are seeing those nods to the 70s, the 90s. You always see those generational times come back again. And that's why I always say, if you have pieces that you love, don't be so quick to get rid of them, because they're always going to come back in style.
Right.
So we are seeing, definitely, I think 90s is going to be, in terms of, eras past, I do think you're going to see a lot of 90s this year.
Okay, and as far as color goes, what's the hot color?
Oh, well, of course, pink never goes away.
You got it,
Pink has been a steadfast staple in my wardrobe. You're looking very sharp there. But that is truly the phenomenon from the Barbie world that we're living in. Millennial pink is a thing for a while. But we've been seeing ravishing red. Peach is to be one of the biggest colors. Peach is soft peach.
They're happy colors.
Yeah, and green. We're seeing a lot of green with envy. So I think green is probably the trickiest to tackle out of all of those, because I think a lot of those pastels, red, pink, those can be classics.
Yes.
I think green is a more of a limited color. So definitely maybe dip your toe in it. Try just one piece. Always can do that through accessories. So if you're not sure how to wear a color, maybe you buy a pair of green pumps or a green bag, or maybe we'll see some guys in some green suits walking down the red carpet this season.
Maybe.
I have a prediction. You may see
Really?
that.
Green suits?
You may see it. You may
really?
see it.
Okay.
I feel like
nothing
we're
wrong with that.
Somewhere. And a lot of those muted, like we're seeing muted greens, like pistachio. So I guarantee you someone will walk down a red carpet in a green suit.
Well, we're going to be checking out. Yeah, we're going to be checking. But it's interesting about color, because color also says a lot about your personality and how you feel.
Absolutely.
And if you're wearing a bright color, I think, it says, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I want to shine today. I want you to feel good about it. But you know what? You can't beat classic black.
Of course.
No matter what, there's always something about, like, this black turtleneck, black pants, black suit, black dress. It just always works, because you can always dress that up with, a piece of jewelry or whatever it is. But I think that it's nice to play around with the colors, but some of the basics, white and black, they never go away.
It's true, Ernie. I always say, for when I dress on camera for television, you're always looking for the bright colors, because they do just translate so well on camera. So a lot of my wardrobe has been inspired by that. However, every time I wear something black, as a New Yorker especially, New Yorkers love wearing black. I mean, it's functional, because if you're walking through a dirty city street, there's snow, things like that, it just helps to be functional in basic black. But I always say, I'm going to throw out my entire wardrobe and I'm only going to wear black. Every time I wear black, I feel inspired. And you do appreciate the classic luxury.
Yes.
It always looks elevated. It always looks cleaner. It always looks more polished. So just one outfit, try it in black and you try it in a color, guarantee it will look that much more expensive in black, right?
No question about it.
You can mix these two things together. You can have your basics, your black and your white. For summer, I live in white. And then you have those bright pops where they work best for you. So, and you can do that in so many ways. You can do that in a statement dress. You can do that in a shoe. You can do it in a bag. You can do it with your outerwear. Pieces you wear day in and day out, I do think functional neutrals just are the smarter choice.
Sounds interesting. For those people who are listening and watching us and so forth, who might be thinking about a career in fashion design and being part of the industry, what advice do you have, with all the experience that you've had? Someone says, I really want to get involved in this thing. What should I do? What's the new way to get involved in the fashion industry? What should I do?
Well, it's a beautiful time to want to embrace the fashion industry, or anything really, in that sense of entertainment, fashion, because content creation is at your fingertips. You do not have to just be able to go to that fashion school here in the city. I went to FIT. You don't have to be one of the 10 top model agencies have to discover you anymore. That was my life growing up. It was about, going to the open calls and the castings and not being just tall enough so many times. All of that's kind of out the window because now we can all be our own content creators. There are so many different job opportunities to be involved in fashion. It's about running social media. It's about, styling. It's about being your own host. It's about, being an influencer. There are tons of opportunities.
Great opportunities.
Whatever city you live in, across America, across the world, to put your own powerful voice into fashion. And the beautiful thing is, maybe it's more of a hobby that you can turn into a productive business. Yeah. And maybe you start that way. Yeah. But I always like to say, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Give yourself that breath of fresh air to know maybe you have that full-time job and maybe you're creating, a new live stream show at the same time, just to give yourself that cushion. But so many people I know have gone full-time just from a TikTok, and it's amazing to see how you can become an overnight celebrity in and of yourself.
It's true. It's true. And you may have answered the question already, but I always like to ask, what do you think is one of the best things about living in America? One of the best things about being in this country? What do you think? You may have answered the question already.
You know what? We're all strong. We're all resilient. We all have the opportunity to bounce back, start anew. Yes. And you know what? We all have a way to find good in each other. True. So I love, whether it's your show or finding the people in your life that bring out your best side of you, support you, and truly create that positivity each and every day. Surround yourself with good people.
I agree with you.
Always find good people.
You are mirroring exactly what I think and I feel. And that's great because when you have the opportunity and you think about it, and I was listening to something this morning driving in, and it was a message about love. And it was self-love and how important it is to love yourself and to respect yourself. Because you know this, if you're not able to love yourself, you can't love other people. But I think that's at the heart of what we're talking about. Enjoy your life. Think of the opportunities. Think about doing something good. And think about your purpose in life and the mission that you have and really being excited about everything that you're doing in your life.
Right. And
so
for me,
important.
That's fashion and family. If I have those two things each and every day somehow, I'm a very happy person inside.
I love it.
So, find those things that you can do to fulfill your day each and every day.
Love that message.
A happier person, just day in and day out. It could be the little things. But for me, family and fashion.
Family and fashion.
Yep,
I love it.
Jackie
Miranne, you're unbelievable. I love it.
So
Congratulations to you and all the good things that you're doing. Jackie Miranne. A nice round of applause for my dear friend, okay? Thanks, Jackie. See you again next time. Bye. See you again.